Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined once again with the wonderful Lara McDonnell, Holly Short in Disney's Artemis Fowl. Welcome, Lara.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Ticking along. It's out. How excited we are, friends and family to see it and see you
Oh
in a
my
Disney
goodness.
movie.
So excited. I think everybody was just so excited because it's been a long time coming, the film in general, but it's been a long time coming. Like, we filmed this back in 2018. So I've been talking to my friends and family about this since 2018. So I think that they all finally got to see it and enjoy it and see what I've been working on was definitely such a special moment. And they all absolutely loved it. So I'm happy out.
Oh, that's great to hear. I mean, yeah, it's been a long. How did you keep it a secret for nearly 2 years? It's crazy.
I see, when I found out I got the part on the 9th of December, and I had been auditioning since June, so I'd kept that a secret, but I'm usually quite good at keeping, like, when I audition, a secret, just because it's something personal to me, and I don't
Yeah.
see why. I won't tell anyone, because then everybody's hopes will get built up and then it will get knocked down again. That's
Yeah.
never good. So I kept it a secret. And then when I found out I got it, I couldn't believe it. I felt like fit to burst. And they said, okay, we'll release it soon. And once Disney announces it, then you can tell people. I was great. So waiting and waiting, and a week goes by, and then another week goes by, and I can't remember what date that it did actually come out, but I had been out of school for a week, and the whole time I'd been auditioning for Artemis, I'd been telling everyone, they'd be like, where were you? And I'd be like, oh, I was sick. So I'd been sick a lot of the
That
past few
that
months.
old
A
chestnut.
lot. Oh yeah. And then I was away for a week, and I was actually going to Long Cross Studios because we were like doing some stuff for Artemis. And I got my hair cut from, like, I used to have really long hair and I got it cut to a bob. And then that night we went back to the hotel and I fell asleep, and then I woke up in the middle of the night with my mum poking me saying, it's just been announced, it's just been announced, it's just been announced. And we were like, oh, okay. And then the next day we flew back home, and it was just before Christmas, and my school dance was that night. So I
Yeah.
hadn't been in school for a week. And then I just showed up to my school dance, missing half of my hair, and Disney had just announced I was in a new film. So
How was that for you?
mad.
I can imagine. That's crazy. I mean, because your first big role was Matilda in the musical, wasn't it? That was your
Yeah,
on the West End. And Matilda obviously shares quite a lot of similarities with Holly. I mean,
she
she's
does.
determined, strong sense of right and wrong, and magical. Um, do you think playing Matilda kind of helped transition into the role of Holly?
I think so. Yeah, they are similar in a lot of ways, in that, like you were saying, they are both very determined. And I think, like, a lot of people, they're great role models for young people. And I'm very lucky in that I've got to play such amazing characters that are so inspiring. But they're two very different people, meaning that, like, Matilda is a human 5-year-old child,
Yeah.
and Holly is an 84-year-old elf. So
There's
there
some
is that difference, just a little bit. But yeah, there's definitely, I think there is that influence of, they're two very good people, and they're something that a very strong characteristic for both of them is that they will always do what is fundamentally right. That is what
yeah.
they want to do, and that's what they want to achieve, and it doesn't matter what lengths they have to go to achieve it, but they will do what is right.
It's always the best way to be, really, isn't it? I
Exactly.
mean, you talk about, obviously, the kind of Matilda being almost a role model. What would you want young viewers to take away from your performance as Holly?
Holly's such an inspiring character. I definitely think people would love to take away the confidence that she has. Although she's not always confident in herself, she's always confident in what she believes in. So she knows what's right and wrong, and she won't let anyone take that away from her. So she doesn't want to hurt anyone. If they haven't done anything, they don't deserve to be hurt. And I think that's such an important message to take away from her, that she will
Absolutely.
do what is right, and she doesn't want anyone to get hurt in the process if they don't deserve it. And like a lot of the fairies in the army, they think, oh, they're humans, they deserve it. Holly's like, no, they haven't done anything. So she wants to, although she doesn't particularly enjoy Artemis as a person, she doesn't think he deserves to be harmed in any way, which
Yeah.
I think is really important. And she will stick to what is fundamentally right, and she's confident about that. So I definitely think that's something that people should take away, is stick to your beliefs like Holly does. That's something that's very
Yeah.
important to her.
So Ireland is a place that is very in tune with the mystical and in tune with fairies. Have you got any personal experiences outside of Artemis Fowl with the magical or fairies or anything like that? And I understand this is a really tough question if you haven't got something prepared. So
That's I mean, I'm really searching my mind right now, and I'm coming up really disappointed in that I'm not an actual fairy. So that's a bit of a downer if I'm being
wait, you're
completely
not
honest.
84.
I saw something the other day and it was like, she looks great for 84. And I was like, well, thank you. It's a moisturising cream. Thank you.
I need to get some of that. Good Lord.
But I'm trying to think. I don't think there is, unfortunately, to be very boring. I mean, I always grew up with stories of magic and fantasy, and that's something that I've always loved the idea of. I mean, I loved the Harry Potters growing up before I read Artemis Fowl, and I'm still waiting for my Hogwarts letter. It's gotten lost, but I know it's coming.
Adamant, it's coming.
There. It is, I promise. And then that's something that's always, it's still, especially with Artemis and getting to kind of relive all of my childhood nostalgia from reading fantasy books, getting to bring that to life. Definitely, I do absolutely love everything magical, so I wish that I had some very magical experiences aside from literature and film, but unfortunately I don't.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, I tell you what, because you couldn't come up with a fairy story, I challenge you to some Artemis Fowl quotes.
I'm down for this. Okay.
Are you sure?
Not really, but okay.
Right here, I have got 10 Artemis Fowl quotes from the first 3 books, and I need you to tell me which character said them. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, number 1. It's like riding a unicorn. You never forget.
Totally.
Hey, very good. Right out. Right
I did my research. When I found out this film was being made, I'm telling you, I did my research.
Went to town. And proves it though, we did not talk about this before the interview. So Lara really hasn't seen these questions yet.
Watch me get the next one wrong.
Next up then, okay. Well, leprechauns, you know they're not real, don't you?
Juliet.
Very good. 2 for 2.
I'm impressed.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx myself.
I think we're getting a little bit more difficult. Hit that backstabber where it hurts, right in the ambition.
Oh, I've definitely read. Obviously, I've read this, but I'm trying to.
I'll give you a clue. It is from the first book.
Okay, I think it's said to Briar Cudgeon, I believe. It's
about Briar Cudgeon.
Yeah, Root says it, I believe.
Very good. Okay. 3. Doing well, sir. Okay, next up. Shut up, Julius. I mean, quiet a moment, Commander.
Totally.
No, that one.
No, mulch.
Okay, you got there. You got there in the end. I'll give you that one.
I'm a perfectionist, so this isn't going to end very well.
So the next one, I actually have a T-shirt with this quote on it. So let's see if you get this one. My bugs don't have bugs.
Totally.
Very good. Okay, we're halfway through.
Okay.
The next one is a real curveball.
Okay.
Richard of York gave battle in vain.
Stop cackling, it's me. I'm trying.
From the third book, and it's a really vague reference.
Okay.
Do you need me to put like the countdown music on or something?
Please don't. I'm trying to think. Could I have like a little hint?
Okay, you can have a little hint. He's a big man.
Is it Butler? I want to say
it is Butler. So
okay.
That's from the opening of the Eternity Code, the third book.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what context that is in.
Have you read all of them?
I have read all of them many times.
So it's from the bit at the beginning where Artemis is trying to sell the sea cube to John.
Oh, okay. And
do you remember they have that concussion and everything? Okay.
Yeah.
Next one. So this one's again, they're getting more difficult as we go. Okay. A CD. How quaint. We have these in museums.
Holly.
Very good. I'm glad you got that one.
Me too.
Okay. So far we are 7 for 7. Next up. Are you going for the 10? Fowl is right. Without me, you're sunk. Third book.
Okay.
Try not to. It's quite tough. These are getting quite specifically tough.
See, genuinely, the way I know most of them, but the vague ones that I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to think of what language that each of the characters use. So like which way they phrase, like who would say that in that specific way. I don't know. I want to say, I feel like it's a fairy.
It is a fairy. So you're on the right sort of species.
Exactly. I'm getting there.
He thinks a lot of himself, this fairy.
Oh, there's many of them in these books. I'll tell you that they're all pretty confident. I think it's Foley.
Very good. Very, very
okay.
good. 7, 8 for 8. Okay, we're on to number 9 now. Okay, gentlemen. Barney says go to sleep. This one's really tough.
That sounds like, I feel like that's something Butler would say. That's close. No.
It's a Butler.
Close. Is it Juliet?
It is Juliet.
Okay.
It's where she puts the Pecs. Do you remember Pecs and Chips from the Eternity Code?
Yes.
It's where she takes them out. Okay, so we're on the last one. The last quote. Okay. The last quote.
No pressure.
Looks like the gang's all here. And guess what? I don't like gangs.
That's a good one.
So many great quotes in these books.
There are. I mean, Owen is just incredible. I mean, yeah, there are so many great quotes.
This one's really hard.
Which is it? Did you say it was from the third one?
It's from the third book, yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's like the way it's said, that sounds very Artemis Fowl like, but I'm not. No.
Wrong species. In fact, I've just looked. I haven't even put an Artemis Fowl quote in. Whoops.
So,
in fact, they're fairies, Butler and Juliet. That's all of the quotes I've done. I think the problem is Artemis Fowl's quotes are too easy to pick out. They're very distinct.
Yeah. That's why the only reason I said that was because the I do not like gang sounds very I don't like lollipops. Yeah. So that's where I was going with that. Yeah. I'm gonna say Holly on a Wing.
Unfortunately not. It was Commander Root.
Oh, I'm really annoyed.
You did very well, though. You did
Thank you.
Very well. All things considered. I think we'll give you an 8 out of 10. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean,
yeah, there are a few that I mean, there are a few, but I'm chuffed with that.
That's good. Well, I mean, I spoke to Ferdy a couple of days ago, and I asked him if he'd like a lollipop, and he said yes.
Wow. So you heard it here first.
I know.
He's Ferdy not really Artemis Fowl. Wow.
Oh dear.
Ridiculous.
So I've got a few more questions for you, and then I'll let you go.
Perfect.
We can beeline straight back into some questions because I'm a really experienced interviewer, as you can see.
Oh no, but definitely. Okay.
So
I mean, you're a pro.
Oh, I am now. But it's been a bit of a trial under pressure. But one of Holly's favourite activities is flying. Have you flown anywhere? And if so, where's your favourite place? Or if you could fly anywhere, where would you go?
When you say fly, do you mean like the way I did with wires, or do you mean with an aeroplane?
Any, really. If you could just get either on a plane or a set of wings and go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Okay, that's a very good question. I mean, if I had to pick between the two different modes of transport, I'm obviously going wings because obviously.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, why wouldn't you? Exactly. Right now, if the world wasn't in absolute chaos, if everything was, fairly calmed down and it was completely allowed, I've always wanted to go to Italy. I've always wanted to go to Pompeii. I'm a very big history buff, so I've always wanted to see Pompeii and I want to see the Colosseum, and so definitely I'd have to say Italy.
And kind of in a similar sort of vein, but looking more at Holly and a different kind of destination, in what other book or movie would Holly feel most at home, apart from Artemis Fowl? And this, again, is a really tough one. I'm
really trying to do her justice here. You see, they mention in the books, like when she's flying to the Hill of Terror from Italy, that like the fairies often visit Disneyland. So I'm kind of like warming towards a Disney film because, I mean, the fairies, they really fit in there.
Yeah.
But I feel like she would do really well in The Lord of the Rings.
Do you know what? That's a really interesting. I did not expect you to say that. Can you imagine like high-tech fairy weaponry in Lord of the Rings? That would be quite an interesting combination.
Just because I feel like, so she's very into all of her action, and I think she's very big on her training.
Yeah.
So although she may not have the technology, but I feel like she could fare just as well without the technology, because she's a pretty on the go gal. So I feel like she could take on a dragon and totally do fine.
Oh, easily, yeah. I mean,
the hobbits would thank her, for being completely honest,
and probably welcome her as one of their own.
Exactly. I feel like I think she'd fit in. I think she'd enjoy going on unexpected journeys with them.
Yeah. Oh, it is a very Holly thing to do. I mean, there's 8 books of unexpected journeys with Holly, isn't there?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I am now officially all out of questions, Lara. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. We spoke for nearly 40 minutes last time, and I think we exhausted a lot of questions then.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for a second time. I'm honoured.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and thank you so much for giving us your time. I know the fans. The fans love you and Ferdia in your roles. That if there's one thing they absolutely love, and I know it's you two guys, that, you know, it's been such a long wait, and seeing 2 people who obviously just slipped straight into the roles and just ran with the ball and did such a good job. You know, it was amazing to see you guys in the roles, and thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's so lovely. Thank you.
It's all good. Well, thank you very much, Lara, and I hope to see what you do in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me.